ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Wednesday, June 26th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. We're going to get your text in, of course. We'll do that here in a minute. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're keeping an eye on the Coldcats. They're on the road. They suffered the loss yesterday. They're back at it today. A little earlier start time than usual, and so we'll keep an eye on that score. Hopefully we can get you an update. Right now, they are trailing in that game, but it has been interesting so far. Lots of offense from both Bristol and Tri-State. So we'll get you caught up in all of that coming up a little bit later on. All right. Text line is open, as I mentioned. We're going to have an interesting conversation today. Dave Rydell is going to join us. He's the president of the River Cities Football Officials Association, and they're looking for officials. They're recruiting. They're trying to get folks to sign up and be officials. You know that guy you yell at always? Hey, you got the call wrong. What were you thinking? What you can't see, all of that. I could do the job better than you. You know all those things that you yell. Well, guess what? You have an opportunity presented before you right now. You can be that guy that knows what he's talking about. You can do your job better. Dave's going to join us here in a few minutes. It's fun. Dave's a good guy, so, of course, when I yell at him for being an official, it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And, of course, as I mentioned, your text is open. Your text line is open now. So we'll do that here in a few minutes. Some signings today for the Thundering Herd. We'll get you caught up on all of that. I think the interesting thing to talk about is the Herd that seeding. Now, Stevie Browning was with us a few days ago. We knew that the Lexington Regional would be where the Herd would play, and Herd that is the number one seed in the Lexington Regional, the TBT tournament. The first game is going to be on July 19th, 3 p.m., versus the 8th seed, the Jackson, Tennessee Boom. The Boom. Now, the Kentucky team, believe it or not, is the number 2 seed. So we could see La Familia, the Kentucky team, take on Herd that maybe in the Lexington Regional Championship game. Best Virginia is going to be in the Pittsburgh Regional as the number 3 seed and going to play the 6th seed Brotherly Love on June 20th at 6 p.m. So that's interesting. We have West Virginia's entry, Best Virginia, in the Pittsburgh Regional. We've got Marshall's entry, Heard that, in the Lexington Regional, kind of splitting the two up. I know it made sense when it was being held in Charleston to have both those teams in Charleston, obviously, and that made for some interesting matchups. But I don't know. This kind of interests me a little bit more just because you hope that maybe one or both of these teams can get through. I like to see these teams both get through. But Heard that, a number 1 seed, they've got to have a really loaded roster to kind of justify that. So we'll find out if they can get through beginning on July 19th, 3 p.m., and then Best Virginia on June 20th. So is that right, June 20th? July 20th. All right. That's all right. Our producer, Ben Anderson, just slapped himself upside the head. You should have seen it. It was a thing of beauty. I've never seen a man slap himself like that. It's okay, Ben. July 20th at 6 p.m. It's okay. That was impressive, though. That was a really good slap upside your head, your own head, you slapping. So, Best Virginia, July 20th. Heard that, July 19th. And we'll find out if both these teams can advance to the next round. So it's going to be fun to watch, especially with Heard that. How many of you are going to go down to Lexington? For the most part, I think Lexington's a real easy drive, and I anticipate a lot of Herd fans maybe making that trip. Would you make that trip a little bit more so than the trip last year? It was further north. I thought that was a bad location last year. That if you're going to have a West Virginia regional, it has to be held in Charleston. There's no question. It has to be held in Charleston. Huntington doesn't make sense. Morgantown doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, for West Virginia herd, that purposes it makes sense. But for overall, I think Charleston made more sense in West Virginia if you're going to do that. And so it moving to Lexington, I think that's going to be an interesting, good change of pace. Going to Pittsburgh, that's going to be an interesting change of pace as well. I know this tournament feels like it's more of like an East Coast tournament. Not necessarily the case, but it feels like it's definitely more of an East Coast tournament. At least you can get to a lot of these locations. So I'm curious. You're going to hop in the car, just head on down to Lexington, and you can see, one, heard that, and then two, if you're Bill Cornwell, you can watch the Kentucky region's number 2 seed in La Familia, the Kentucky team. So there are a lot of herd fans, by the way. I'm just not going to lie to you. There are a lot of herd fans that you kind of sport the blue, the Wildcat blue and the herd green, sometimes at the same time. I don't know about you, but if you're one of those fans that kind of straddle the border a little bit, you got an opportunity. You can see both of your favorite colors play in this TBT tournament. So let's get your text in this hour. Are you heading to the TBT? Going to go see Heard That play? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's edition of the show. We'll get into a lot of things happening with the NCAA. There's a couple of items I want to touch on. Also, want to talk about what's happening with the Herd. We've got a linebacker that has signed on with the Herd. We'll talk about that. But when we continue, let's talk to Dave Rydell, president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. Looking for officials, looking for people that can do the job better. Do the job better. You know who you are. You're always yelling at the official. Now you can be the guy we yell at, and you can show us how you do it better. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know that guy I'm talking about, right? Just won't sit down. Shut up, dude. Shut up. These guys don't care who wins or loses. They're just going to throw the flag when they think they see an infraction. Dave Rydell joins us when we continue. Hey, you know what? That could be a summer job for us. We could be officials. Friday nights after the show, we could just all head down, and I could call the game on the sideline. I could tee up a coach. Could you imagine? I'm an official at a Huntington High game, and I make a call, and Billy Seals doesn't like that. And I'm like, you're out of here, buddy. And then I call him and get him on the show Monday so we can talk about that. That would really be awkward and funny at the same time. I think I might have to sign up for this here, just so I can have the opportunity to throw Billy Seals out of the game. Just look at him and say, all right, coach, look at me wrong. Look at me wrong, Billy. Just look at me wrong. You're out of here. I would never do that. But Dave Rydell tells us how you could possibly do that. That could be your dream job. Throw a coach out of a game and then get booed by the fans. Seriously, though, there is a need for officials. All kidding aside, this is something that is always in need of people who can help volunteer their time or be paid for their time to help out with all of these sports. And the kids, they're out there working hard. Let's try to give them the best we can on all facets, including officiating. Dave Rydell joins us when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Create the deck of your dreams now at Menards. Spend less time maintaining your deck and more time enjoying it with Ultra Deck low-maintenance composite decking from Menards. It's easy to install and built to last. Plus, get free estimates fast with our deck design program in-store and on Menards.com. Save big on Ultra Deck and check out more great deals happening now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Coldcats baseball returns to action this Saturday and Sunday with the Bristol State Liners. Saturday night, a concert with Cruise Avenue during the Orbit's Record Shop post-game concert series presented by 1861 Public House and the Kerber Beer Company. Sunday afternoon is Family Hoops Family Children's Day presented by Marshall Health Network. Kids run the bases. It's a weekend of fun with the Tri-State Coldcats and the Bristol State Liners at Jack Cook Field this weekend.
Get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua Sauvignon Blanc. This Friday, it's Bernie's RV Rental Adventures Night with Of the Dell. Music starts at 7 on the Marshall OPGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for Friday, August 2nd, when 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity, and Kendrick Communications. This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Wednesday edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Can you believe it? We're getting closer to the start of football season. High school, college, pro, all of that's coming up sooner than you think. And we're looking for officials. We need some help. So joining us now on the program is Dave Rydell, President and Recruitment Officer of the River Cities Football Officials Association. There's a need for officials. There's a need for people to step up. They're the ones that always yell at you, Dave, tell you you're terrible, you can't see. They don't think you do a good job. So here's their opportunity now. All those people who've ever yelled at you, Dave, and I'm sure there's a lot of them, they have an opportunity now to kind of come out and show you how it's done.
Exactly. And, thanks for having me on, Paul. It's good to talk to you. The fun part about football officiating is it just keeps you connected to the game. So for those that love football, it's a great outlet. Whether you played middle school, high school, college, it's a great way to still be active and involved in the game. And also to give back to your community, and on top of that, make a little money.
Now, you're looking for officials not only in West Virginia or not just West Virginia, it's Ohio as well, and this is where you cover with the River Cities Football Officials Association. Why is there such a shortage? Are people just aging out? Is it a combination of other things?
It's number one. We're aging out. I mean, I'm out of the 7 men on our crew, I'm the fourth oldest. And I'm in my 50s, so that tells you the top 4 of us are old, and so we're losing officials, and we're not getting them back in a timely fashion. People just don't want to give back. I think is part of it. I think too is the other part is like you mentioned how you started off. We do take some abuse, but it's you just kind of put that to the side. I just love officiating, and all the guys that are in our group do. We all saw what happened at the Y over in basketball over the winter. That's an issue. But honestly, on a Friday night, there's nothing like standing in that end zone waiting for the game to start. As a guy in my mid-50s, I still get butterflies before the games. I'm out there to do the best job I can to make sure that the kids have a good game, and hopefully nobody even notices the officials are on the field.
Of course, everyone notices the officials, Dave. Just because you make a call and 50-50 chance someone's going to think you got it right, someone thinks you got it wrong. So here's my pitch. If you are that guy or that lady, you're that person, you think you can do it better, here's your opportunity. What do you need to be an official from a health standpoint, from a knowledge of the game, certification? What do you need to do? Is this easy? Does this take a little effort?
It's as easy as it's ever been. It has to be if I'm the new officials training organizer. So it's very simple. You do 10 hours online. I say 10 hours. That's what we say. It's not really 10 hours. You can go through it as fast or as slow as you like. It's through ref preps. The easiest way to find out everything you need to know is to go to rcfoa.net. That takes you right to our local officials website. And the first thing that happens when you pull up that website is I want to be an official, find out more here, and it takes you right to the SSAC website. So 10 hours of classroom time, we say 20 hours of field time, and again, that 20 hours varies. We actually do it 5 2-hour increments to break it up and make it easy, and it's all planned out. We go over everything in great detail. The issue is a lot of guys, they get into this, guys or women, they get into this and they think, oh my gosh, it's like I'm drinking through a fire hose. Well, you are. I mean, we're throwing the basics at you really fast, and then you're partnered with older officials, and they help mentor you and bring you along through youth football games, through middle school football games, through high school junior varsity games, because that's what you'll work your first year. If you really excel and you do well, you could get picked up on a crew to do high school football your second year. We have multiple guys that were rookies last year, and this year they're all going to be on varsity crews. The new thing that they've done, and this is both in West Virginia and Ohio, is you can be 16 or older and become a licensed football official. We had, I don't know if the area remembers the name Bray Boggs out of Winfield High School, was an outstanding running back and defensive back. His senior year, he actually officiated with me. He was in the first training class that I did. Wonderful athlete, wonderful individual, and a great student. Got the scholarship to Wesleyan that they give out every year, the full ride for academics. And he's still a great official today. He's when he's in school, he works up at the board up there, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But it's a lot of fun. We had the 2 kids from Chesapeake last year. They were competing. I think they were juniors, and they became officials. So it's fun to get the younger guys involved. And even if you're a current football player, if your time allows, you can officiate youth league and middle school games if you're 16 or older.
Dave Rydell's with us. He's president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. Now this covers Ohio and West Virginia in our area. So you're looking for officials both on the West Virginia and Ohio sides of the river. What do I need as far as, how much cost will this, come my way? What will I incur before I get started? I mean, you're not just handing out whistles for free.
No. So what will happen? There is no fee for the training class other than the online portion. So some groups do charge a fee. I don't charge a fee for running the class. There is a $17 insurance fee that is paid to the SSAC, and there is a $10 background check fee that is paid. So that's something a lot of people don't know. Every licensed official undergoes a background check every year. But so it's $27 that you'll pay once I certify you as you've completed the training course. Now the training course is, I think it's $40 or $45. I think it's $40 or $45. I don't know right off the top of my head. But in that, there's a discount, so it's really important that if people want to become an official, that they do go to the River Cities or rcfoa.net and click on that link, because it takes you right to the SSAC site. And when you start your online training, you have to pay for that, and then there's a discount code to get you the reduced price. Otherwise, it's $50. So I think it's a $10 discount to $40.
Okay, so nominal startup fee for anyone who's interested,
right.
And then, of course, once you go through the certification, you're certified, and then you start working the youth events and try to work your way up. The training pays for itself. You'll eventually have paid for your training.
Your first Saturday doing Tri-State Youth Football, you will make the money you've invested, almost all of your money back. In 2 Saturdays, you'll be in the green or in the black, as they say, with your fees, because Dan's had a phenomenal setup. They have everything you need to start out as an official. They've become a huge help with us locally. They have it for every sport, but for football, they've got your flags, your whistles, your hats, your shirts, pants, both short and long pants, and there's other online options as well. We try and refer everybody to Dan simply because they're a local partner with us, and it makes it very nice to be able to. Oh shoot! I need this now, and you can go to Dan's and they have it in stock. And I was just going to go. You'll probably put $125, $150 in equipment right off the bat, because you want to get a good pair of shoes. And when you become an official, you want to make sure that you look the part, because that's the biggest part. You walk out on the field, and if you don't look right, then the fans that'll trigger the fans right away. So you always want to look sharp and professional.
Dave Rydell's with us, the president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. You mentioned triggering the fans. That always happens no matter what you do. You walk out on the field, they're going to be triggered by you. Does this training include how to deal with the fans, the parents, the people who are going to be heckling and chirping the loudest? Does that training come with that, or is that something that you have to have a good disposition, obviously, to do this?
Well, and again, the initial training does not cover that, but we do meet regularly as a board, and in those meetings that you're required to attend at least 4, and the SSAC has now modified that a little bit, that they've made it more important to attend at least 8 meetings. 8 meetings in a calendar year, and we start our meetings early in July to make sure that everybody gets it, and more officials don't have to miss meetings to do games. But we cover dealing with fans. We cover that in our local board meetings. So that's something we talk about almost every meeting.
I'm curious at that because being an official is not easy. You do it for the fun, you do it for the love of the game, obviously, but it's not easy because you could have Paul Swann out there chirping all day long. Look, hey, there's Dave Rydell again. I'm going to wear him out because that guy's blind. You get those kind of fans. I'm sure it's not as bad as it maybe is made out to be on social media and in different situations, but you've got that, right? I mean, that's kind of the stereotype, situation. Fans are always on you.
And a lot of times they are. And that's just I hate to say it's become part of the game because it really shouldn't be. It's just people pay their money, they get in, they think part of the price of admission is to be able to abuse the official. And the thing is nobody realizes just how much time we put in. People say, oh, you're paid $50-$60 for a game. That's 2 hours. That's $30 an hour. That's ridiculous. If you actually break down the amount of time that you have to invest in studying, taking the test, rules test 1 and rules test 2, and then travel to and from the game, it's not $30 an hour if you break it down. The pay is now the youth league. There are more opportunities this year for new officials than ever before because Tri-State Youth Football has expanded to, I believe, 15 teams. So we need 8 crews every Saturday. That's 8 crews of 4. That's 32 individuals, and a lot of the older guys they just don't do youth league. They don't do much. They don't do many middle schools anymore simply because they're saving their bodies for Friday nights. Because Friday nights, there's a lot of action, a lot of running. Sometimes you get hit. Our umpire gets hit at least once or twice a season.
Dave Rydell's with us, the president of the River Cities Football Officials Association, looking for new officials, trying to replenish the roles a little bit, and it's a fun job, I'm sure. I mean, great opportunity for, say, I don't know, if I was an official, say Coach Billy Seals looked at me wrong, I could tee him up, throw him out, right? I mean, I know that's kind of a absurd example, but it's fun because there's a lot of personalities and characters in the game of football locally, not just with the kids, but the coaches as well. And you kind of get to build that camaraderie with these guys because you'll see them every week just about, right?
It is. Now, our crew, we travel all over.
Okay.
I don't really talk about where we go, but we have Huntington at home and on the road, and Billy is an intense coach. He does a great job, and he does a phenomenal job out there. And Billy will get on you if he thinks you messed up, but he'll praise you if you got one right. So I mean, and coaches like that are great. Coach Harmon out at Wayne, Coach Dingus out at Spring Valley are fantastic. But I mean, our crew, we're in Morgantown twice this year. We're in up in Parkersburg twice. We're in Bluefield. So I mean, we move around a little bit.
I bet it's fun though, just for those coaches, because they can be personalities and they know they're working you a little bit. But I'm sure it's fun just to hear some of the things maybe the fans don't get to hear. You always wonder what he's saying to the official, and because he's saying it right to you, where you can hear it.
Well, I will tell you, Billy gave one of the best one-liners I think I've ever heard in a game, and this was 2 years ago. We're at Huntington. I won't mention the game. But the head linesman, the linesman over working the chains, he threw 3 or 4 procedure penalties in a row, and it was, they were legit. The players were jumping, and Billy yelled across the field, "Hey, we got a good orthopedist up in the stands. You're gonna need some shoulder surgery after throwing all those flags." I mean, it was just in the spur of the moment, in the timing, and when he yelled that, I mean, I had to cover my mouth because I started laughing. It was just funny, and Billy gets some good ones on those. So I mean, he's a lot of fun to work a game for.
I bet he is. I use him as an example only because I can imagine what Billy's going to say to me. "Oh, you're going to throw me out of the game, huh? Yeah, I can't wait to have that conversation."
Now that he doesn't do, because there are certain things. Yeah, we all know based on Bull Durham, there's certain things you say to an umpire that's going to get you tossed.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to go into that, but there are certain things that you say to an official that is going to garner a penalty flag, and the good coaches know what not to say, and Billy is one of those good coaches. He knows what not to say.
Well, he's my go-to guy though to pick on, only because and
he's a guy with broad shoulders that can take.
Yeah, he's my go-to guy because he's funny as can be, and I just can't imagine him looking at me, not you, me, going, "Oh, no, that's funny. You're gonna throw me out, huh, Paul?" I would love to have that conversation just one time. He's
fantastic.
Dave Rydell's with us. Okay, let's get everybody updated again. If they want to do this, they want to be an official, they want to help out the kids, maybe give it a go, try it out for a little bit. They'll make their money back if they go through the training and then do it for at least a season or a few games. What do they need to do? Where do they need to go?
So first off, you go to rcfoa.net. That's River Cities Football Officials Association, rcfoa.net. And as soon as you log on, it takes you the first box up. It says, "Do you want to become an official? Find out more." Click that box. It takes you right to the SSAC webpage of how to become an official. And it's got Rex Foster's name. He's the football contact at the SSAC. You can call him. He can give you the discount code, or people can call me and I can text a link. My number is 304-638-3007. And I can text you the link right to Ref Preps Football and the football training, and give you the discount code and get you started. But again, River Cities, we waive our annual dues for rookie officials. The SSAC waives the $37.50 registration fee for rookie officials. The only cost is the $40 or $50 for the training, depending on it. Just hope everybody uses the discount code. So that's the $40 for the training, and then the $27, the $17 for the insurance fee, and then anybody 18 or over, the $10 background check fee. So anybody that is 16 to 17 and they choose to do it, they only have to pay for the insurance, not the background check.
Dave Rydell's with us, the president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. So if I go through this training, I could show up to the game. I could throw Bill Cornwell out. I could throw the flag and get him out of there. I can do that. Be my only appearance on the field, I'm sure. But can I do that?
Well, you know what? If Bill's up there saying something wrong, we can go to the administration. That one of the things that the SSAC stresses is that we as officials don't single out individuals and tell them they're ejected. We go to game management and say, "Hey, this person needs to go." So it's not. We try and make that as minimal as possible to not put on a big show out there and point up in the stands and tell them they're gone. It's sometimes it's hard not to, depending. I mean, there have been times that I've had to in youth games where I've actually pointed up in the stands and said, "You're done." And if they don't leave, then we end the game.
So all of that's managed. So you've got it's really going to be as stress-free as possible for someone who wants to do this to be an official. Is what you're saying? Even with all my jokes.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is. I mean, you have to understand. If you go to a football game now, you hear everybody say whatever to the official. So it does happen, and you go into that knowing it does. Now I'm going to Canton this weekend to do a national travel football tournament, and I know I'm going to hear some lovely comments, but that's okay. It's just. I hate to say it's part of it, but I do football and basketball, and I've actually gotten really good at just not listening.
My guess is Dave Rydell.
You hear it.
So yeah, you tune it out. You tune it out. You have to, because you're focused on the game.
And it's a learned response. It truly is. I mean, as a first or second year official, you're going to hear more than the seasoned officials. But we we really work with you to try and get you to focus on this, and this, and try to tune out all the background noise. Now, I will tell you, I've gotten so bad in basketball that if a coach just yells to his team constantly, that I tune him out, and they get upset because I don't hear him calling a timeout because I've literally tuned them out. So, I mean, when I do basketball pre-games, I mention to the coaches, I said, if you yell at your team a lot, I just want you to know that I will tune you out. So if you're going to need a timeout in the crunch time, you need to have look at one of your players and have them call timeout, because I'll be honest, I'm not listening to you.
Dave Rydell, my guest. Thankfully, he's listening to me, president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. I guess my dreams of throwing Bill Cornwell out of a game are not going to come true this year, Dave.
Well, I do have a game at the Joan this year, so if he's doing
okay, all right, we could team up on the sideline and out of there.
I tell you, I can throw a flag up as high as the press box, I think.
Okay, all right.
It's one of the fun things in training is we do flag placement to get the officials used to throwing it, because when we did this last year, it was so funny to watch everybody throw the flag, because if it's a spot foul, you need to try and get it to the spot. So, and it's fun to get with the new officials. I mean, I've been blessed that I can throw one across the field. So it's not that I ever need to, but if I have to, I can.
All right, we'll have a competition soon. Dave Rydell, president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. Opportunity for fans to maybe turn themselves into seasoned pros and officials, and of course show us all that they know the game and they can do it better than the officials out there. So I open that challenge to them. Dave, thanks for joining us. Good luck. Let's hope we get some new officials out there soon, because I know this is in all seriousness. This is something that benefits the kids more than anything. So hopefully we can get some folks that want to sign up and be a part of some really fun times for kids.
Absolutely, Paul. I greatly appreciate you having me on. And one quick fact that we're proud of here in West Virginia is that this has happened a lot in other states. But in West Virginia, we have never had to move a varsity football contest due to a lack of officials. We're one of 3 states in the union that has not had to move a game due to lack of officials. And we want to keep that streak. We're proud of that. So come on out, join us. More information, give me a call, 304-638-3007. Once again, thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks, Dave. Dave Rydell, everyone. He's the president of the River Cities Football Officials Association. Very worthwhile if you're interested in participating in youth activities and giving back to the kids. This is an opportunity for you. We'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Cabell Huntington Health Department's conducting a series of evening vaccine clinics this summer. The dates are June 3rd, July 1st, August 5th, and September 9th, taking place from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the department at 703 7th Avenue. No appointment is necessary.
This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by the providers at Marshall OBGYN, online at marshallhealth.com/OBGYN.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You know how you love Wendy's Frosty more than any other Frosty in the world? Well, it's easy because nobody else sells a Frosty, but that's not the point. What if I told you there's a triple berry Frosty? Well, surprise! I'm telling you right now, it's the next great Frosty flavor from Wendy's. It's a whole new look and taste just for the summer. New triple berry Frosty just in time for summer? it's gotta be Wendy's, even midnight or later.
Limited time only. Participating Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We continue on with our Wednesday edition, The Drive, on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Some additions to the herd, always getting bigger. This one is going to be a challenging name to pronounce. I am going to call him by his nickname after this moment. Quaterius Wolf Walker. Quaterius Wolf Walker. He's a linebacker out of Dallas, Georgia. He went to East Paulding High School, so he's going to be part of the class of 2025. Had 7.5 sacks in 2023. He's ranked, according to 24/7 Sports, as the 136th best linebacker in the class of 2025 and ranked as the 139th best player in the state of Georgia in the class of 2025. He had offers from Furman, the Purple Paladins. That's a trigger response there. Woody Woodrum was here, former co-host of this show. He would be triggered right now by just the color purple. Buffalo looked at him, Ball State, Toledo, Kennesaw State, Georgia State, Kent State, UMass, Western Kentucky, Western Michigan, Arkansas State, UConn. So those were the types of offers he was getting, and he is right now going to be coming to the herd. Of course, we find out every day the herd gets bigger and better every single day. Social media is fun when you follow Coach Huff, so more additions there to the thundering herd. Our text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is going to be one that helps Greg Beals, and I'm sure recruiting. Former Marshall pitcher and Los Angeles Dodgers prospect Patrick Copen promoted to high A. He was a 7th-round draft pick last season. In 2024, had a .315 ERA, 26.9 strikeout percentage, and a .207 batting average against in 54 1/3 innings in single A. So getting the promotion to high A. If you remember him, he played 3 years at Marshall, had 37 appearances, 30 starts. So he is moving on up. And, of course, that's good because if you're Greg Beals, you can always look at that stuff and say, hey, you come to Marshall, we've got the tools, we've got the facilities, we can get you to the next level. We play in a competitive conference. Of course, you use all of that stuff always. Our text line's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, I'm not going to be able to make the TBT, Paul, on July 19th due to work, but if they play a weekend game, I will definitely make the trip. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about this is you'd like to go see the games, but if they're playing on a weekday, unless you just have that ability just to say, I'm not coming to work today, you're either your own boss or you're just independently wealthy and you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. If you're you or me, that, well, we got to go do the 9 to 5. It's a difficult thing to do, go to a game like this. But it'll be fun to watch, and especially with this game going on at 3 p.m. I mean, they're the number 1 seed. They're going on at 3 p.m. I'm sure they're going to give La Familia the better time because they're the Kentucky team. You want to play to the home crowd, obviously. But, yeah, if the herd is able to get to the next round and the next round, maybe they'll get more fans showing up. Texter writes in, wants to know the website again for the River Cities Football Officials Association. It was rcfoa.net. That is correct. Ben Anderson, our producer, nodding his head. That is correct. rcfoa.net. And, of course, I'm going to look that up just right now because I have a web browser open. So if I go to rcfoa.net and click it, you will get to the page, and the pop-up window will say, join us on the field, learn how to become a high school football official. You can hit learn more, or you can close that out and you can explore the website. So that's the website again. If you didn't catch it the first time, it is real simple, rcfoa.net. That stands for River Cities Football Officials Association, and that will take you to everything you need. Again, one more time, rcfoa.net. More questions coming up on our text line. We'll keep the show going with your text when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Your next project at Menards. Save time with a fresh coat in one coat. Dutch Boys Forever Interior Paint and Primer offers powerhouse protection with its stain-blocking, odor-reducing technologies. And with Dutch Boys Easy Opening, Smooth Pouring Container, transforming your home has never been easier. Save big money on Dutch Boy paints and head into Menards to get your paint project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
Get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua's Sauvignon Blanc. This Friday, it's Bernie's RV Rental Adventures Night with Of the Dell. Music starts at 7 on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for Friday, August 2nd, when 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington, between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity, and Kindred Communications.
Hey there, baseball fans. Are you craving a home run of flavor? Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Whether you're a fan of French dip, fried bologna, Reuben, or Southern fried chicken, the Marshall Cafe has sliders that'll knock it out of the park. Each order comes with a side of fries, rounding out your winning lineup.
Hey, take me out to the ball game.
Slide into Flavortown with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Dead battery on America's birthday? America's #1 battery destination is here to help. AutoZone has free battery testing and charging at every store, and batteries starting at just $79.99. With our 4th of July sale, we have savings to help you red, white, and do any other jobs you've been putting off. It's everything you need to get back on the road at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is big, like really, really big. So I'm a rewards member at Kohl's, and I just shopped their first ever member deal days. Listen to this. I got 25% off clothes, shoes, and more for myself, my husband, and my kids. Plus 25% off some really great finds for our home. Not a member? Don't worry. You can join for free right now and get instant access to these savings too. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on Kohl's member deal days. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. 25% off Kohl's rewards offer ends June 30th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It's our final segment, Wednesday edition Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We keep that open every single day. You can be a part of the show also on social media. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann, and you can find us on Facebook. We've got a page. It's The Drive with Paul Swann. Last night and today, not the Cincinnati Reds day. Last night, the Pirates defeated the Reds 9-5. And then today, game you heard earlier on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, Pittsburgh gets the win over the Reds 6-1. It is also our company president's birthday, Mike Kurtner's birthday today. He is a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so he gets a birthday win. We wish Mike a happy birthday. And, of course, the Pirates take the series against the Cincinnati Reds. Our producer, Ben Anderson, is in such anguish. He is now sporting Bengals gear after starting the week in all his Reds gear. So, Ben, that was a tough series for you. Back at it, I'm sure. They'll get back at it. Pirates are back in action. They will have tomorrow off, and then on Friday they'll take on the Atlanta Braves. Guardians, they get the win over Orioles 10-8 last night, and they have another matchup tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. NBA drafts coming up tonight. Round 1. They're doing 2 rounds this year, 2 different nights. I don't know if I agree with that. With NFL, it's kind of a different animal. I don't know if I agree with the NBA draft, I don't know if you're going to have 2 big nights there. I think you can get it done. And again, you're trying to increase it. Same thing with the NHL. NHL's similar to what the football side looks like. I'm not a fan. The only draft I'm actually a fan of, if I'm going to watch the draft, I'll watch the first and maybe second round of the NFL draft. NBA draft, nah, okay. NHL draft, that interests me a little bit more so only because I'm a hockey fan, but still, they just drag these things out. Have you ever watched the NHL draft? It's painful to watch. Everyone gets up on stage. At least with the NFL and to some degree with the NBA, commissioner gets on stage, makes the pick, the player that's picked comes up, gets the hug, gets the high five from the commissioner, gets the new ball cap, maybe does a couple of media hits, and then we talk about that player and we move on to the next pick when it comes in. Some of these other drafts, it's like pulling teeth. Let's get to the point here. And the NHL, you have everybody come up. I mean, Paul Swann and Ben Anderson, hey, come on up. You guys can come up as well. Hang out with us. So you get like 20, 30 people on stage. And, of course, I just want to know the pick, not, hey, we want to thank. You got most of the owners coming, hey, we want to thank. They just say, hey, we want to thank the host city for hospitalities. We want to thank the organization. We want to, we've got this really swell guy we picked. He's going to be a real fantastic kid. We're really high on him. Take this big spiel, and then they talk forever. Shut up. Name the pick. That's all I want. Just give me the pick. And I've gotten to the point where I don't even watch the draft anymore. I've got an app. I got the app for that. Just fire up the ESPN app. It alerts me. Did I watch any of the NFL draft after the first night? No. I had the app firing up. Okay, the Bengals took this pick. Okay, cool. Thanks. Next time I got a notification. Oh, the Bengals have picked again. Oh, they've made a trade. Oh, they've got this pick. Okay, cool. There's a little bit of info on him. Great. Click. I'm good. The whole idea of making these things a media spectacle, I get it. But at the end of the day, do we really need to expend this much energy on making the draft 2-day event instead of the 1-day event? I think 1 was enough for the NBA. 1 was absolutely enough. The NFL, I get it. You have multitudes that, I mean, it's become big. It's become more of an event to go to. You go to the draft if you're in the NFL. That's more of the event. I mean, they're having outdoor festivals for the draft. People are coming to these events, and cities are bidding on these things to host these multitude of days. And they're getting huge crowds for these things for the NFL. How many people are making the trek to the NBA draft? Hey, you want a road trip and let's go see the NBA draft? Said no one ever that I know. NBA draft coming up tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN ABC. I really don't have much of a pick here. I'm not excited for anybody. Now, if there was a potential Marshall player in this thing, different story for me. But it is free content for the NBA. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank our guest, Dave Rydell, for joining us. Dave is the president and he's the recruitment officer of the River Cities Football Officials Association. And if you would like to join that organization and you want to help out and maybe become an official, you can go to the website rcfoa.net. That's the official site to get started if you want to become an official and maybe make your way to one of the varsity crews, and maybe you're officiating high school football on a Friday night here in the next few years. Our producer, Ben Anderson, we thank him, and we thank you. Thanks for being a part of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Chief.